Well, let's move on to talk about the bigger issues surrounding rowing, because if you've watched our rowing coverage across a long period, you will have seen that fundamentally most of the medals tend to go to a small kind of coterie of nations. So one of the big issues facing the sport is how to broaden the international base of rowing. But the thing is, where there's a will, there is a way.
One of the great problems that rowing has in increasing its global reach is the sheer cost of the sport. What we would regard as just a simple rowing machine can cost thousands of pounds to a country in Central Africa. And let's face it, they've probably got better things to do with that kind of money. So what you need is an affordable rowing machine. So take a look at this. And the man whose brainchild this is Jim Flood from the sport's governing body. Jim, this is absolute genius.
John, it's actually just basic engineering. A simple bicycle wheel, simple timber that you can find in African countries and can be put together using local skills, local materials, and benefit the local economy.
And how much would this cost?
We think round about $50 if you were paying top prices.
So you could have, doing the quick maths here, you could have 30 or 40 of these for the cost of a proper rowing machine, which means in a nation with huge geographical problems and things like that, you can actually have them all over the place rather than just concentrated in one area.
You can indeed, and if rowing is going to spread, that's what it has to do. It has to move to outlying areas as well.
So what long-term would be your vision for this contraption?
The long-term is to introduce indoor rowing and introduce that to rowing as a sport using simple, basic technology like this. Now, they will need the more sophisticated rowing machines if they're going to develop further. But this is a first step that they can keep control of, they can produce, they can maintain. Because with this, you can get your local carpenter along, your local mechanic, and they can get it back working again.
So in your mind's eye, 10, 20 years down the road, is there a world champion rower from Uganda or somewhere?
Oh, quite possibly. We've had, and we're very unfortunate that the Ugandans weren't able to come here, but they were due. And rowing has developed into Uganda, where they're on the point of being competitive. And they are certainly hoping to qualify for the Olympics.
And in your role with the governing body of the sport as well, this is exactly what governing bodies need to do. They need to be pushing the boundaries and increasing the appeal of the sport.
Indeed. The reason for that is that unless rowing develops more widely, it could well lose, A, the number of places it has in the Olympics, and it could lose rowing altogether from the Olympics if it is not a widespread sport.
So the stakes are high, which is why this is
important. The stakes are very high indeed.
And the man who's effectively governing those stakes, which are very high, Jean-Christophe Rolland, who's the boss man of FISA. So thanks very much for talking to us. So fascinating piece there about trying to broaden the appeal of the sport and taking it to countries like Uganda, like Kenya. Is that part, if you like, of your mission statement as the new man in charge?
Definitely. Development is one of our